How's it going, everyone? This video is going to be over market structure shifts. Market structure shifts are important because it shows us where the structure is shifting from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish. The first thing we are going to cover is displacement and how understanding that will help us identify market structure shifts. So what is displacement? Displacement is an aggressive move with full-bodied candles. This can be a singular candle or also multiple candles, and the easiest way to spot it is just looking for fair value gaps. So in this set of price action right here, you can notice we get an aggressive move lower here, breaking this low, closing below, and what do we form? A fair value gap. Similarly over here, we get an aggressive move, breaking this high, closing above, with large full-bodied candles. Now on a higher time frame, these would result in a single candle. So let's take a look at some examples of displacement. So if you notice here, we have a very aggressive move up and an aggressive move down. Well, if we're following the displacement, aggressive down comes after, so we're looking lower. What do we have here? An aggressive move down. Until this is invalidated, looking lower. Now we have another aggressive displacement candle, or full-bodied candle, creating a fair value gap, lower. Now we have another one here. But what do we notice right here? Well, now we get an aggressive move up, closing above this fair value gap. Now we have aggressive price action here. And if we continue, we have fair value gap there, up once again right here. What do we notice? We close, we don't respect this fair value gap. Now we have aggressive move down, back into that fair value gap, aggressive move up. And that is how I look at displacement candles and use them to see what the order flow is doing. So now that you have an understanding what displacement candles are, we are going to take a look into what a market structure shift is. Now, a market structure shift is what indicates a change in trend from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish. So in this case right here, we have a bullish move up, a market structure shift, and then the trend switches to bearish. Now, how do we identify this? We look for displacement below a previous low, or if it is bullish, above a previous high. And I also prefer to have a stop rate prior to this, which also creates a breaker formation and creates high resistance liquidity for a stop loss. The most important thing I look for in a market structure shift is if price engaged a higher time frame level prior to shifting structure. If it did not, I do not personally search for a setup. So let's get into a few examples here of looking at market structure shifts. So if we're looking right here, we have previous day high marked out. And I do have 10 o'clock marked out because we did have some news at 10 o'clock. And we will watch to see if the move occurs then. So right here, we do engage into that higher time frame level. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. So if we're going to break structure here, I'd want to see this low broken here. So let's see what happens. Price reaches down but does not break it. Now we do make a new high. So if price is going to break structure, I'd want to see it break this low. You can see we do not break structure. Now we make a new high. Now if we're going to break structure, we still have to break this low here. Not really a break of structure for me because we did not aggressively move below this low. So we're still looking at this low here. We do get a sweep right here. And this is a better sweep for me just because we don't close over that high. Now you can see we're getting big full-bodied candles reaching below this low. And we go touch midnight and come back up. So if we clean up this chart a little, you can see we have our liquidity sweep, and our structure shift is when we start closing and aggressively moving below this low. So we have a market structure shift. From here, then I can look for a setup, which what do we have right here? We have a fair value gap setup right here, as well as a breaker block. For added confluence, if we take a fib from low to high, we can see we also have an OTE right in there. So letting this play out, you can see price comes over, touches the OTE in a fair value gap within the breaker block. And what do we get right after that? We get displacement out of it. And you can see how the bodies respect the breaker block and fair value gap. So now we have another fair value gap price comes up into that, sweeps the current low, and from here we'd want to see London lows taken. So let's let that play out. And there we go. We get a move below our overnight lows. For this next example, we have previous week's low marked out, and we are on S&P futures on the hourly chart. So we are going to watch and see what happens when we engage this higher time frame level. So right here, we make an aggressive move into this area, and I would not be thinking long yet until we get displacement over this high. And right there, we get closure over this high and reach up higher. So this would be our market structure shift. And then I am focused on this displacement range. So from here, I can look at our discount and premium. And we have an order block sitting in a discount here. So I'd like to see this produce a reaction. Get rid of this. And let's see what happens. Right there, we get a nice reaction off of the order block in our midnight opening price. From here, I'd want to see it continue higher, and it does so throughout the week. For this last example, we are looking at DXY on the daily chart. So if you notice, we have a daily fair value gap over here, and price is drawing to here. So let's see what happens. Price raids this low right here into the daily fair value gap. If we are going to shift structure, we would need to break this high right here and close over it. Right there, we get a nice move over that high and closing. So now this high becomes a market structure shift, and I will look for price to go higher. From here, I look at my range where I have our premium and discount marked out. Do I have a PD array and a discount? I have an order block right here. So from here, I'd want to see price reach down into the PD array and respect it. So right here, price closes outside this order block, and then we move higher here. So in conclusion, what I look for is price to engage with a higher time frame level on a lower time frame or that time frame, price to sweep a low or a high before closing over structure, making our market structure shift, and then looking for a setup on that time frame. If you do want to take a look at the PDF shown in this video, it will be linked in the description below. Please leave a comment if that is helpful, and I will look to continue to do that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.